Hey everyone! Before we begin, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, because today's story will touch your heart in ways you won't expect. It's a story about love, pride, and the true test of character. Billionaire father disguises as poor gatekeeper to test son's fiancée. Her reaction left him in tears. Stay with me till the end, because the twist will leave you speechless. Rain poured heavily that morning outside the grand Blackstone mansion, a palace of wealth, legacy, and secrets. Inside, billionaire Charles Blackstone, a man known for his sharp mind and colder heart, stood by the window, watching his only son, Ethan, laugh with his fiancée, Lily, in the garden. They looked perfect, young, beautiful, and in love. But Charles had learned, through years of business betrayals and false smiles, that perfection was often an illusion. When Charles's wife died years ago, he raised Ethan with everything money could buy, except one thing, the ability to trust easily. And now, as Ethan prepared to marry a woman from a modest background, Charles felt uneasy. She says she loves him, he murmured to himself, but would she love him without the mansion, the cars, the billions? That night, an idea struck him, strange, maybe even cruel, but necessary. He would disguise himself as a poor gatekeeper at their country estate for 1 week. Ethan and Lily were visiting there for a quiet holiday before the wedding. It would be the perfect chance to see who Lily really was, when no one was watching. The next morning, Charles appeared at the country estate, no tailored suit, no Rolex watch, no polished shoes. Just an old gray uniform, a cap, and dust on his hands. His own son didn't even recognize him at first. "Dad?" "What?" Ethan laughed awkwardly. "Shoo," Charles interrupted, lowering his voice. "For a few days, I'm George, the new gatekeeper. Don't say a word to Lily. I need to know the truth." Ethan hesitated but eventually nodded. He respected his father, even if he didn't always understand him. When Lily arrived, she smiled at everyone, except the gatekeeper. She barely glanced at him when he opened the gate. "Oh, thank you," she said softly, distracted, scrolling through her phone. For the first few days, Lily seemed polite, kind, even. She brought tea for the gardener, greeted the cook, and spent time decorating the small house they shared. But Charles, watching from his humble guard post, noticed small cracks in her kindness. When the weather turned hot, he asked if she could hand him a bottle of water from the fridge. She frowned. "That's not really my job, is it? Your staff. You can get it yourself." Charles said nothing. He simply nodded and smiled. But his heart sank. That evening, Ethan and Lily sat on the patio as the sun set. Charles overheard Lily whisper, "Ethan, I really don't like how your father's staff look at me. That old gatekeeper gives me strange vibes. Maybe after we're married, we can replace some of them." Ethan went quiet. He loved her, but a small voice inside him began to ache. Over the next few days, Charles continued his act. He carried her luggage, cleaned muddy tires, fetched deliveries. Each time, Lily's tone grew sharper, her eyes colder. She'd snap at him for being too slow, too quiet, too poor. And then came the moment that broke him. It was raining again. Charles slipped on the wet ground while opening the gate for Lily's car. His knee hit the gravel hard, and the umbrella he held for her fell, splashing mud on her dress. Lily screamed. "Are you serious? Look what you've done. This dress cost more than your entire month's salary," she shouted. Charles looked up at her, his heart heavy but calm. "I'm sorry, miss. I didn't mean." "Just stay out of my way," she snapped, slamming the car door. Ethan, who had been walking toward the gate, saw everything. He froze, and something inside him changed. The next morning, Charles ended his disguise. He walked into the mansion dressed once again in his fine suit. Lily gasped when she saw him, realizing who he truly was. Mr. Blackstone. I didn't know it was you, she stammered, her voice trembling. Charles looked at her, his eyes full of quiet disappointment. You didn't need to know it was me to be kind. She went pale. The silence was unbearable. Ethan stood beside his father, anger and heartbreak on his face. Lily, Ethan said softly, when I said I wanted to build a life together, I meant with love, not money. You failed a test you didn't even know you were taking. Tears welled in Lily's eyes. Ethan, please, I was just. No, Charles interrupted gently. True character shows when no one's watching. Lily tried to speak again, but words failed her. Within an hour, she packed her things and left the estate. When the car drove away, Charles turned to his son. He expected Ethan to be angry, maybe even hate him for the deception. But Ethan just hugged him. Thank you, Dad, he whispered. You saved me from a lifetime of lies. For the first time in years, Charles's cold eyes softened. He had built empires, commanded boardrooms, and conquered markets, but that simple embrace was worth more than all his billions. And when the rain stopped that evening, he stood by the gate again, not as a test, not in disguise, but as a man reminded of life's simplest truth. Money may open gates, but kindness opens hearts. So, if you were in Lily's place, how would you have treated that old gatekeeper? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that will touch your heart and make you think twice about what truly matters in life.